and welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast, Absolutely Lower League, the show dedicated to everything from the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, the Vanarama National League, and the Vanarama National League North and South. Smashed it again. Woo. That is a mouthful, I tell you. But of course, I could not do this alone. And what a gang tonight. I mean, it's even all round. 3 girls, 3 boys. I mean, even. What a team. But somebody you all recognise who's not usually on this show unless he's covering me, but we actually finally get to do one together. Sam, how are you and how's your week been?
You've let me in. Thank you for letting me part of being this wonderful Thursday crew. We get to do one together. It's rarity now. We used to do like 3 a week back at the start, didn't we? Sick of the sight of me. That's probably why we don't do any anymore. She's had enough. I'm very well, thank you. I'm very good. Things are good. I'm going on holiday on Saturday, so I'm feeling almost there. Things are good. How are you?
You just needed to get your podcast fixed, didn't you, before you go and leave us weeks.
That last moment of being on screen talking something about football before I bore someone's ear off on holiday at a bar about it.
I love it. And I'm really good, thank you for asking. Good. Somebody who I do a lot of podcasts with recently as well. Rebecca, how are you and how's your week been?
I'm very good, thank you. It's been a good week. Saw Everton under-21s win on my birthday on Tuesday. So yeah, it's been a good one. Bit hectic, but looking forward to being back on the podcast.
You've just reminded me as well, because on Monday nobody did it because I am the designated happy birthday singer of a podcast, aren't I? And I did hear that I do have to sing happy birthday to you, so I will sing back to you right now, Rebecca. So does somebody want to count me in?
3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rebecca. Happy birthday to you. Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Sorry about the singing.
You know what's really funny? Ben's cat was like,
no, sorry.
It's trying to go after my scone. It is. It won't leave me alone.
It might do after my singing now.
No, it really isn't.
Oh, bless him. So cute. Ben, how are you and how's your week been?
Yeah, I mean, football aside, it's been all right. So, yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. Not really too much more than that, to be honest, really. It's just been a fairly standard week, to be honest. Cat sit more, yeah, mate.
Claire, how are you and how's your week been?
yeah, I'm good. I'm having my first week off work this year. So I'm very much just enjoying being a bit lazy and pleasing myself. Well, I say that. I'm not really being lazy because I've got a 2-year-old to run around after, but to a point.
Been down any crisp aisles this week?
Obviously.
Sorry, I had to get that in.
You know me and my love of crisps.
I love how you said love of crisps this week. That's better. And obviously, we couldn't get Mr. Happy himself on today with Anne after his positivity last week. So we got the next best thing, Mr. Positivity himself. We haven't seen him for a few weeks. But Kieran, how are you and how's your week been? Be happy, please.
No, it's been good. I'm happy. Newport won. Everything's good. Life is good. Yes, come on.
Yes, we can end the podcast right now. He's happy. I'm only joking, but I am so glad you're good. And obviously, before we talk some football, we do have a lot of people in the chat. And this one from David, he posted before the show, he's put Crawley Town fan here. It's early days, but it looks like we're doing it again. We're definitely staying up. We looked shaky in moments on Saturday, but that was the same last year at the start. Very long season, though. Very long season. Anything can happen. But it's looking good so far. And we have Graham as well. I'm so happy Graham's back with us. Said it last week. We have Simon as well, evening gang. We have got Spenny fan Chris. We have Johnny as well. We have
Keep waving.
we have Sean as well. Evening all. Hope you're all well. We're very,
Hey, Sean.
thank
Look
you.
at Sean's prison mugshot. I'm only joking, Sean.
And what a win for us on Saturday. I'm sure we'll hear about that later, but remember, we are on a time limit, Kieran. So we will do a countdown clock. But we're going to mix
Best
it up a
behaviour
little.
today, sir. Best behaviour today.
We are going to mix it up a little bit because Claire unfortunately can't stay for the whole podcast. So we will stay with League One. And Claire, do you know what? Tell us about Stockport first. We will let you start off.
So, I don't know if anybody has seen, but anyone knows top of League One? I'm just going to say it now because it's like the only time I'll get to say it this season. And I'm very aware of that. But I can't get over our start. Like, the last time... I'm sorry. You know me by now, Sean. The last time we won our first match of the season was 2018. And...
So.
You start... I'm so easily distracted. I'm sorry. Yeah, nobody expected it. Like Blackpool, I expected to be a real tough test. Like they're unbeaten at home since November. Like it's not just a let's rock up and batter them. Quite lucky because
let's rock up and batter them. Aggressive much.
She's back on the pitch invasions.
So we were quite lucky in the first half because they could have had a penalty quite easily. Like I've seen the challenge back and it could have gone either way. So I'm pleased it went our way. But Louis Barry hit the post in the first half, and that was really all there was to talk about from that half.
You didn't say it right. Who hit the post?
Come on,
Louis Barry.
So in the second half, though, who scored again? An absolute beauty. Louis Barry gets the ball on the left, cuts across one defender, runs past defenders 2 and 3 who clatter each other and fall over, which was highly amusing. And then passes over and shoots the ball across the keeper into the net to put us 1-0 up. It's like the 67th minute. And from then, we just kind of like seemed to get quite a bit of confidence. And Blackpool seemed to just dip even further. And Fevrier scored to put us 2-0 up in the 84th minute. Tanto came back from his injury, and with his second touch of the ball, he scored our third goal, and obviously his first of the season. But I was really pleased for him, and I've told you all so many times that I find Tanto to be a confidence player. So I was really, really pleased for him that he'd started so quickly and got that goal. Just absolutely buzzing, man. Like, we're in League One. We've won our first 2 games. Like, someone want to like slap me in the face and wake me up because I don't believe it.
I'll do it virtually because I know you'll batter me in person.
Blackpool were really disappointing, though, I must say. And I don't know even if you've seen that. Is it Fusion Jake or whatever he's called, the YouTuber? Is that what he's called, Fusion Jake?
Yeah, I think so.
Josh?
Fusion Josh.
Oh,
yeah.
Fusion Josh. I knew Jake didn't seem right. Same thing with a J anyway, innit? They've sacked him yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
The good old Stockport County manager sackings after the game has started again already.
The
I think
curse.
two games is a bit early to sack your manager, in my opinion. But I think it's a continuation for them, and they were absolutely awful. So I'm sure they'll go on to improve. But had he not been sacked, I would revert back and say I don't expect him in the playoffs after all. Like, that's how bad they were. But yeah, happy with the 3 points.
I love it. We will as well. We will get the graphics up. I'm going to come to you, Sam, being our newbie and being able to talk to you and me hosting, which I find really weird right now.
I know, I'm having to just be quiet, let you do it.
I know, I find it really weird. But what was your standout result in League One?
Well, I think there were a couple for me. Think you've certainly got. I think Charlton picking up a win at home was really important to get their season going after the first weekend. I think because they're expecting big things. A late winner as well, Luke Berry. So he finally kind of got himself going, signing from the summer. So that was a big one. And I think, I mean, Shrewsbury are in trouble. Shrewsbury are in real trouble, but Peterborough banging 4 in there to get their season off. So I think I always look at this stage, start of the season, those teams that you're expecting to be there starting to get the wheels rolling. Because if you start hitting games 2, 3, 4, that's when the pressure massively drops in. So, and I think, Claire's absolutely sailing at the top of the division. She hasn't got any of that to worry about because they're. As you were talking, I was thinking, I don't think I've ever known Claire when Stockport haven't been top of a league. So I'm not saying I'm a good omen, but it's
Let's
been
pick
pretty.
up real life besties.
This is it. It must be a good sign. So yeah, I think Peterborough, but Shrewsbury look awful so far. I think a lot of people had them down there, and it's not been a great start. I mean, it was a tough game. Shrewsbury, it depends where you're from, Claire. See, I'm from different shores. Different shores. So they'd probably be the two for me. I know seeing in the chat as well, people mentioning Crawley.
Yes.
So 2 wins for them. Obviously played the same team Stockport have as well. I think Blackpool and so same as.
Cambridge are going down as well. So
Blackpool, Cambridge play each other at the weekend as well. So someone's in trouble.
Yeah.
Interesting times. Anyone in the chat as well, if you do support a club, please send us your match reports as well. If I haven't read it, I will read it. There's just a lot of chat at the minute. But yeah, we cover the EFL right down to the National League North and South. So if you support any of those teams, want to have your say, please do. And I will read it out when we get to them leagues. We've got Sean as well, obviously Northampton fan, baby, Exeter 2-1. He's put a massive result for us after being 1-0 down at half time. Then two of our new signings scored to make it 2-1. That's always a good sign, isn't it? Always a good sign. This made me laugh as well. 3 things to expect in life: death, taxes, and Steve Evans getting a fine and a ban. That is so true. It's so true. Simon says that his standout result was Mansfield versus Burton. Yeah, 3-3 that was, and that looked like a very interesting game. Rebecca, which was your standout in League One? If you do have any, that is.
Mine was Lincoln and Barnsley. Barnsley didn't get off to the greatest start to the season. Lincoln did win their first match. So I did think Lincoln would edge it just a bit. They're back at home. It was, I think everything for me was pointing towards Lincoln. They did have quite an early chance from a corner, but Barnsley kept it out well. I think they took the lead in the 13th minute, I believe, did Barnsley. And Lincoln just struggled to be able to get anything from it. They did have chances on the counter-attack, and they did look like a very promising side like Lincoln do, but they just couldn't find any way in until after, when it was too late, because Barnsley doubled their lead with a goal from Mark Roberts, which was just after half time, I believe, and then Lincoln did pull one back, but I think it was just at that point trying to limit the goal difference and damage limitation towards the end. But it was a good goal from, I think it was called Ben House, but it just wasn't enough for them to pull it back. But It was a decent watch, and yeah, it was a bit of a shock for me with Lincoln not getting the 3 points.
Just a quick update as well. Notts County have got a third goal. They are beating Grimsby Town 3-0.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The poll I put out on my Twitter was wrong then. 52% thinking for a Grimsby win.
If Notts County sort out their defence, they'll absolutely smash that league this season. But it's a good sign of it, obviously, being goalless for them.
Do we know why it's being played? Why is it being played on a Thursday?
TV, probably.
I was going to say, is it something to do with TV?
On Sky, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In the chat as well, we have got Mr. Luke as well. He's actually watching us while on holiday. I'll read everyone currently watching from the reception of my hotel in Tenerife. So gutted still for our player Greg. I know. I really, really, really am wishing him the best of luck in his recovery, Greg Ollie. It was awful, that truly awful tackle.
I know the player that did it as well. I've seen like that he's absolutely beating himself up massively.
Aww.
And to his credit as well, when he tweeted about having had his operation, he actually said, like, I don't have any ill feeling towards him. It's just one of those things that happens in football. And I thought, I want him to, heal even quicker now, like, than I did already, because, like, how nice is that to...
Yeah, definitely.
Acknowledge, because I know he was getting a lot of stick on.
I saw that.
I hope Tenerife's weather's improved, Mr. Luke.
Guessing, I think Jodie Jones has scored anyway for Notts County. Yeah, Chris, Jodie Jones scoring the third goal. Before, obviously, I asked you, Kieran, and you, Ben, Graham has put in the chat, obviously, the Charlton game. So Charlton Athletic 1, Leyton Orient 0. He's put Orient were awful. They set their stall out to make the game stop-start and did loads of time wasting. Sean Clare should have been sent off for them with an awful challenge on Josh Edwards. And then he's put as well, Luke Berry will be so key for us this year, enjoying the great start. Tough one Saturday, but another home game at least. Oh, come back, son. Come back, son. Oh, gosh, you jinxed him, Claire.
This is the mental thing. The last time they played that fixture, Notts County and Grimsby, it ended 5-5. So, anything's possible in that bloody fixture, apparently.
Just before I ask you, Kieran, Lucas put, Greg Ollie is such a lovely and heartwarming person. Is a club legend. Status was already game for that. Aw. And it was Harvey Rogers, apparently, with the Grimsby goal.
He's happy.
Oh. Kieran, stand out if you've got any.
Reading winning 2-0 against Wigan. I like Reading just because they've been through all that ownership stuff, and they're still going through it, to be fair. But that's a really convincing performance, and the fact you're looking at Reading and Wigan in a League One fixture is bizarre to me. At the same time, you'd always associate that with Championship or Premier Leagues. No. Like it's a convincing performance, It's good to get a clean sheet at home, and I watched a couple of goals, and to be fair, that was an interesting sneeze. Bless you, but no, it was a. I'll give credit. I'll give credit to Reading. I thought that they controlled that game from start to finish, and 2-0 in my eyes kind of flattered Wigan a little bit. But fair play to them.
How exciting is it for Reading as well that they're apparently about to have a takeover completed?
Oh, that's brilliant news.
Yeah, they've been close to it for a while, haven't they? It looks like it's actually over the line now. So hopefully they can kick on. Bless you.
We've got look at all these lovely people in the chat as well saying bless you, Claire.
Thank you.
Aw, everyone. Aren't they lovely?
Yeah. That Reading one was my standout game as well.
Ben, last but not least as well. Have you got any?
Well, we're talking about them again, really. Crawley Town, winning at Cambridge. I know we are expecting Cambridge to probably be down as well as Crawley. So really, even at this early stage of the season, it's a massive 6-pointer. And Crawley have gone and done it again. And if they are to stay up, they've got to win games like that against the sides that are going to be in and around there. So that's an important 3 points for them. And I probably will go and, this isn't just to impress Claire, but, Stockport's start to the season, it's actually been phenomenal. Like, to win 3-0 to, obviously pre-season playoff contender, obviously it's not looking like at the moment. And I've seen that Louis Barry goal, enough times now on my timeline and what a goal it was. After 2 games is absolutely insane, really. But obviously Claire and all this, Stockport Sport probably living the dream right now, back up in League One after, another promotion and starting at top of League One after a couple of games in, what is a very tough league. So, that sort of sets the bar a little bit high for them now. So it's now, can they maintain it? So they're probably my 2 real standouts of the weekend.
Thanks, Ben.
No problem.
In the chat as well, Simon has put the bottom game looks like it was quite boring. Yeah, Bolton versus Wrexham. And as well in the chat, Birmingham haven't started the most convincing, but they did win, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did
and
win.
let's be honest, the first game was Reading, so they're going to always be tough. So they got 4 points out of the first 2 games. It's not a bad start.
It's not shabby, to be fair. Yeah, and a win away from home is always good. So they'll be all right. I reckon they'll be all right.
Someone who I've tipped to be up there as well is Huddersfield. Obviously, I know it's Stevenage, but they won again, Huddersfield. I think they'll be up there. This season, I probably jinxed them now, though, because I tend to do that with teams. So if there's any Huddersfield fans in the chat, I do apologise. But going to the table, who's top of League One, Claire? So we do have Stockport County at the top of League One. In second, who I said, we have Huddersfield, also on 6 points. Then we have in the playoffs, in third, we have Crawley on 6 points. Charlton are fourth. And then we have Reading on 4 points. In fifth, we have Mansfield Town in sixth. And then in the relegation zone at the minute, we have Cambridge United, Wigan Athletic, and who are 22nd. We have Blackpool in 23rd and Shrewsbury Town in 24th. So the bottom of the league, but it has only been 2 games. So see what happens. I knew this was for my benefit when he said that. Bolton. Can't go podcast without saying Bolton. And Graham, bless him, he's just happy. Green and Capitals 2 weeks running. It's all right for some, eh? League Two. So before I come to you, Rebecca, and you, Kieran, I'm going to come to Ben first because I feel like I came to you last a couple of times recently, Ben. So have you got any standout results in League Two?
I think the obvious one there, I think Chesterfield's 5-0 victory over Crewe Alexandra. I think they were 4-0 up at half time. I can't remember exactly, but they went on, basically ramped up the gears very early on. And for a side coming back up into League Two, got off to a fairly steady start with a draw last week. That's a big statement, especially on the road against a playoff contender last season in Crewe. So that's a fantastic start for them. And I think again for Kieran's sake, Newport's win over Doncaster. The fact that Doncaster again one of the top sides, that are going to be in League Two. Everyone's tipped him to go probably up by automatics. And Newport had a tough end of the season last season. And it's all about getting that first win under their belts, and they've done that at home, and with that sort of beginning run for them now. Who knows? I think it's still very early days at the moment, and everyone's still finding their feet. So that's probably 2 excellent victories I find. And again, especially I mentioned, I hate to say them, but Bromwich as well. What starts of the EFL for them, another victory, and against local rivals as well in AFC Wimbledon.
Yes.
So they've certainly not shied away from the potential relegation. Letter against their name for early on, early in pre-season. So again, they're enjoying their start to life in League Two. So fair play to them.
I completely agree. I completely agree with. I'm not going to mention Newport. I'm not going to give Kieran the credit. I'll butter him up too much. But yeah, definitely agree with the standout results. Claire, I'll come to you next. I'll leave Kieran waiting a little bit longer. Gonna go to everyone.
I'm struggling here because I've got 3.
That's fine. You name them.
Chesterfield, what a belting win against Crewe. Who were tipped to be right up in the playoffs, or better. So away as well. And we bumped into a few of their fans actually at Stockport train station who were on the way, and they were all like fairly confident, but said that Crewe were quite worrying because they don't really get beat at home very often. So yeah, great result. And obviously we have to mention Colchester United doing bits against Milton Keynes. Like, go on, Colchester.
Yeah.
Absolutely love to see Milton Keynes get beat. And the other one, I know it's not really a big result, but Carlisle Barrow, because it's such a local derby, it can go either way. But I don't think Barrow are going to do very well this year. Stupid decision to sack Pete Wild or let him leave, whatever happened. But no, it's a great win for Carlisle. That
completely agree. Sam, the EFL man. What's your standout game of the week? It reminds me of Bring It On when they go Jan the cheerleading man. So I just had to improvise.
I like it. It's nice to have an intro, any kind of intro will do. We'll all take an intro where we can get it.
Sorry.
Well, what do I like about this? I think I agree with Ben in terms of Bromley as well. I think 2-0 victories straight off the bat, particularly beating AFC Wimbledon at home as well, with all the sort of pressure that first game would sort of bring, and they performed a couple of cheeky goals as well, Michael Cheeks on it in League Two. So that's a good start, I think, for them. Yeah, you have to give Kieran a little bit of props, to be honest, but I won't go too much into that. We don't want to spoiler warner him. And I think Walsall away, I know Swindon are having some trouble, but it puts Walsall top of the table after 2. So 4-0 away from home is always a good result. So yeah, there we go. I won't leave you too long hanging. There we go. Yeah, try to talk about every game. You'll regret after me on. Bradford 0, Salford 0. Wow, let's talk all about that.
What a great
There's actually a talking point about that game, though. Have you seen the goal line clearance that Salford had?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I have a feeling it crossed the line, but
a little
whatever.
We do have, actually, we have G-Tray in the chat, and she's put, I'm so gutted that we didn't win. Andy Cook scored and the ball went over the line, and a Salford player cleared it after the ball went over the line, but the linesman said it didn't go over. Exclamation mark. I agree with that.
There's a second one. 2 exclamation marks.
You can see in the heat of like a match like that why somebody at that level, or any level in fact, wouldn't see that's going over the line, because it wasn't like far over the line.
Yeah.
But it's those human mistakes, and I'm sorry to say it, but I'd rather have those human mistakes than the hideous thing that's VAR.
It's so hard to judge line, because obviously I played quite a bit of tennis, so I have to deal with that every bloody week. It is a nightmare. The ball's moving in different directions, and if you get the angle wrong, particularly where it's sitting at speed, players in between, you look at sometimes the angle that these guys have got to actually make that call in a split second is you say, sometimes they're taking a punt, they're taking a guess on what they think best, and he's clearly got it wrong this time, which is sad for Bradford. But as you say, having the VAR in the Premier League doesn't always sort you out either, I can assure you of that.
I'm going to be tight again. I'm going to leave Kieran waiting.
You relegated him to the bottom.
I know he left, so you definitely bottom now, Kieran.
Relegation, yes.
Everyone's in agreement here, by the way. Sean has put franchise FC losing is my highlight of League Two. Simon was happy because he's put the franchise lost and the laughing, crying faces. And he's also put, if I can find it, his highlight of League Two is every time franchise lose. I think that is for a lot of people, isn't it? Chris has put as well that big win for Carlisle over Barrow in a local derby. Chesterfield have taken to League Two decently. Yep, completely agree. Dietrich is glad that you mentioned it, by the way, Kieran. Lucas put, I heard Bradford was a great holiday destination recommended by a Newport fan. Wonder who it was.
Yeah, I love Bradford. Class place. Should go there now.
I heard it's better than Tenerife.
Yeah, I heard it's better than Tenerife, yeah.
And the Port are going up. And Dietrich's put, honestly, God knows what he was doing, but everyone behind the goal saw it going. Next game, Accrington 3, Harrogate 3.
We got a point!
I know. Have your moment, Rebecca.
We got a point! Well, I mean, I don't know how I felt going into this one because we had the disaster of Tranmere on the Tuesday. We had Doncaster at first match. But I did feel a bit more confident. We're back at home. We had the fans behind them, and it felt good to just walk back into the warm and be ready for another season. We did go back to our same starting 11 as we did against Doncaster. So we didn't change much. We rested the ones we needed to against Tranmere, and it was quite an exciting one. We had 23 shots with 9 on target, which was a considerably more amount than it was against Doncaster. I think Doncaster we had 2 on target. It was somewhat ridiculous, but it was a steady start from us. Harrogate took the lead, which it was such a frustrating goal. We just decided, let's stop playing football and have a game of head tennis. But the ball wouldn't go out, it just went up. I think every one of our players headed it. I don't think no one it just kept going up and up and up, and then eventually it found theirs and they scored. But it was quite a scary one because there was a head collision between the goal scorer and Rawson to the point that where we were stood we could hear it. It weren't great. So Rawson ended up having to be subbed, but we did see our newest signing, who we signed on a half-season loan from Bolton, called Nelson Kumbeni.
I thought it is called Coom Bob. I was like, Coom Bob's a well good name.
No.
You said, come on. Oh God.
Yeah, Nelson Kumbeni came on. So we did end up having to rearrange. So we had Donald Love, I think it was, playing as centre back. But then Tyler Walton, who I know we're only 2 matches into the league, but he has become our standout player. The jump from non-League 2 EFL for him, he just seems to have slotted in perfectly with our team. The setup, he's fitting in well, and that's 2 goals in 2 league matches, so we can't really ask for much else. We did just keep having chances, but we just couldn't get anything on the end of them. I mean, Sean Morley's still whipping up and down, and he's just such a great player for us still, and it's just one of them. It was frustrating, but we conceded another, which, again, you do just get annoyed because it just seems to be the same every week where we can defend their goals. Like this one, we could have defended it. There was no saving it once it was a great whipping top corner, but it was from a short corner. So it was a frustrating one for us to concede because we just send a centre-back out, we send Seb out on the left. We can defend that one. So it was the same that we saw last season, and it was similar to Doncaster's, but we regrouped at half-time and we did come out such a better team. It was the first half we were iffy, we didn't gel as well. Second half, it was we had the team from last season that started so well. It was incredible the way we were playing. Jimmy Knowles added a second goal for us, which was a really well worked goal. I think it was like halfway line. Seb passed it to Tyler Walton. Great cross into the box, and then Jimmy Knowles just headed it home, and that was right in front of where we were standing. And they you see our players, you see them all celebrating, and like the smiles on his face because it was his first goal for us. It's like his home debut, so it was just such a nice feeling, and it got the crowd back going again because it did go quite quiet after a bit. But yeah, it was just that took it to 2-2, and we're like, oh. We could be on to something here. Like, we're on to something here. We were getting proper excited again. 2 minutes later, Sean Worley's... He says it's a shot, but I think it's more of a cross. Well,
they never admit it today. They never admit it.
No. Keeper did what he had to, but it bounced perfectly for Kelsey Mooney to just run on and tap it home. So we had 3 different goal scorers. 2 of them getting, I think it was like their first EFL goals, all 3 of them getting home debut goals. So we were on a high, and then we conceded in the 93rd minute. So they got the 3rd. So it was a bit heartbreaking, but it was a point to point, we'll take it. We've struggled. It's all new for us, and it's just, we got a point, and seeing how happy they were at full time, it was just something different because, yeah, you had the thing of if we'd have kept that one out, but the amount of issues that we've had thrown at us with injuries already, and we're only like 2 matches into the season, it's going to be a long one, but we gelled well in the second half. And one thing I do have to say is a lot are starting to praise Seb, which I never heard last season. They're all starting to praise him because he is playing out of position. He's a left back at the moment for us. He's usually a midfielder. But people are starting to rate him. So I just keep saying, I told you all.
Really smug.
Yeah.
Love it. How was your day as well? Because obviously it was your birthday weekend, wasn't it? So how was the hospitality and everything? Was it good?
Yeah, it was really good. We had Tyler Walton make an appearance at the end because he got player of the match, and it was a nice atmosphere, and yeah, it was a really nice day. And my mum went, and she doesn't usually go to matches a lot, so it was it was a really good one. Would have been better with 3 points, but we'll take 1.
Oh, love that. And then next up, we've got National League.
I'm cool with it. This is fine. I've already had my praise in Newport enough. Go, move. Let's go. Let's go, National League. Go.
I'm joking. Go on, Kieran. Have your moment. What was the scoreline?
Newport 3, Doncaster 1. Yay! Oh, my life, it's been... The one thing that we had was these statistics that we haven't won since since March. So to actually say that we've won a game, it feels different. Very nice, but no. To be fair,
that's my
cool. I'm happy. This is genuine happiness, not sarcasm for once. So we started the game out with, if I'm not mistaken, exactly the same starting 11 that we took to Cheltenham. And within the first 2 minutes, we've had probably a chance that we should have scored. Just kind of, Doncaster potentially didn't expect the kind of long ball, quick passing we were playing, and it was near enough one-on-one with the keeper, and we had just about missed promising signs, but from that second minute and that chance for about half hour, very little between the two teams, just kind of a lot of uncontested possession. Owen Bailey then decides to ruin my day, or nearly ruin my day, by scoring from God knows how far away, because the ball just kind of bounced back to him off of a deflected shot. But we went into the final 15 of that half really, really unlucky not to score. Bobby Campbell had it was a header from maybe about 6 yards out that he's narrowly drifted wide. That should have been 1-1, but we went into half time, and I said to a few of my mates that I was with at the game, I went, if we can come out with the same intention that we had in the final 15 of that first half, we'll win this game. I didn't even get the chance to get back out to the terrace, and we had scored. Lot of kind of just really good passing out wide. Bobby Camera, bloody hell, he's unreal. Cut inside from the left and just kind of took a shot from what would be classed as a very ambitious distance, but it's been put in the I know, mental, right? You're welcome. He's taken a shot from a very ambitious angle that you wouldn't really expect a League Two player to take, and he's kind of hit it into the side net, and keeper's got nowhere near it. But the Newport Twitter account credited Courtney Baker-Richardson for it. They thought he got a touch onto it. It's now been confirmed that he didn't. Claire, I'm glad you enjoyed my definition of how a goal works as well.
I can't wait for the next quote game we do, the quote quiz.
Yeah,
I'll be on
quote game. Yeah. No, but we then came straight out with that same intention. Really should have. This is the weird thing. We won 3-1, but I thought that scoreline flattered Doncaster. I really think we could have scored 5. Had a clear-cut chance from, it was probably about 55 minutes in, clear-cut, keeper pulls off a good save, to be fair to him. But ball then finds Kai Whitmore, it's about 66 minutes in, I'd like to say. And we've signed him from the Welsh leagues. He's a midfielder, but during the game, he was almost playing as a striker at times. He was kind of drifting into that area. And he's taken a shot from, I'd like to say, about 25 yards. And he's hit it into the top right corner. Keeper's fully stretched, and he's gone nowhere near it. Probably one of the better finishes I've seen in bloody ages of watching, Newport and whatnot. Claire, don't laugh
so
there.
well then.
Not funny. You were going so well. You were going so well. It was going so well. But then you got 3 minutes later. 3 minutes later, just kind of stereotypical, I suppose, League Two defending. The ball kind of is just bobbling about from many misplaced passes, many mishit kind of clearances from Doncaster. Finds Matt Baker and he tucks it away, which is his first senior goal. And I don't know why he's so far up forward, given the fact he's a centre-back. But, I suppose when you're there, the kind of quality of the finish, you wouldn't expect it from a centre-back. But we then spent the final 25 minutes where we probably could have scored 2 more. It was generally that good in terms of an offensive display. But game ended, of course, 3-1. And I've never felt more relief at the end of a football game, because in the final 5 minutes, Doncaster obviously put the pressure on. And they got close to scoring twice, maybe. Defence was really solid, though, really kept them at bay. And I think the thing that almost felt better than the win is kind of the response that Nelson Jardine got during the game. He got probably the best reception I've ever seen of a manager at the club making their debut game, and he sat there smiling and hugging all the players at full time. And he said in the interview that the first thing he'd like to say, bar the performances, that results obviously for the kind of supporters and everything. And it was just really nice, to be honest with you. It's refreshing to play really nice football and actually get rewarded for it. Because when we played Cheltenham, we played really nice football, but obviously we conceded in the 96th minutes. To actually get that win, whether it builds momentum for us is a different question, but that's the hope. And we play the lovely Accrington Stanley now on Saturday. So me and Rebecca are sworn enemies up until then. Now, to be fair, every single time Seb Quirk comes on, I always cheer when he comes on. He did it, he came on at the 86th minute last season. And yeah, that was the other thing. We switched back to a 5-back. We played with a 4-back in the opening 2 games, and it didn't really work. And now we've went back to the root of a 5-2-3, whatever the bloody hell you want to call the formation. And that tended to work. I suppose it's because the players are used to playing that system. But it's gonna be interesting to see, if we can develop anything on that. But I'm happy. Everything's good. Life is good. Roll on Saturday. Yeah.
We're going to clip that.
There we are. And you know what? I didn't even take 15 minutes to talk about it. Look,
Nearly
this
15.
is incredible. Nearly.
We're going to clip that, and then we're going to put on the end of it next week when he's like, I bloody hate this game.
It's not very tall, eh?
Oh, for fuck's sake, I fucking fuming. We've lost again. Bollocks.
We get our first win at season. Seb scores. I'll be buzzing and keep.
You know what?
Come on.
If Seb scores the one goal, I'll take it as a half win. It's fine.
We need to get you both on side by side next week, I think, on just a two down the middle with a match analysis back and forth, like a game of Pong.
Yeah.
We were bloody crap.
I'm trying to have a look at ones that we've not covered. Gillingham obviously beating Morecambe. Bless her, poor Jen. Lost again, haven't they?
But it's a good way win that for Swindon as well, isn't it?
Yes.
We'll ignore that one for Uncle Nick, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
No.
And just while we're on Swindon as well, hope he's okay, Uncle Nick. We miss you and we love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love Uncle Nick. Lucas put, come back on next week's show when Kieran is
You know
angry.
what? I'm going to make it my intention, because life is so good at the minute. I'm going to make it my intention to, even if we lose, I won't be pissed off. Unless we lose convincingly, then I'll be pissed off.
We will say. We will say.
Make
we'll
my
see
aim.
next week.
Never seen Aki score 12 goals apart from Saturday.
League 2 table. So at the top of the table, we have Walsall on 6 points. Gillingham are second, also on 6 points. And Bromley are third, also on 6 points. In the playoffs, fourth, we have Chesterfield on 4 points. Port Vale are fifth on the same points. Fleetwood are 6, also on 4 points. And then Bradford are 7th, also on 4 points. This isn't the updated table, by the way. I know there is a game playing tonight, so everyone in the chat, I know, don't worry. And then in the relegation, which everyone will be happy to see, we have Milton Keynes Dons in 21st. That's because I backed him in my predictions to win the league, so I've jinxed him. So you're welcome, everybody. And we have Crewe Alexandra, who are bottom of the league table also. Oh, we've got Jen. She's put, all right, besties. And that she misses us. We miss you too. Miss you too. Simon, more chance of me winning a lottery than that happening.
Go get a lottery ticket then, Mush. Go get a lottery ticket.
Go on. You don't know what might
Go
happen.
on, you got to be in it to win it, you have bet.
Oh, Notts County, 4-1. They're 4-1 up now.
5-5 is still on.
So we will go now to the National League. So, do you know what, Sam? Do you want to talk about the Eastleigh result? Eastleigh for Fylde 2, because I know we're on a good run at the minute. Both games, even Tuesdays, he won 2-1.
What's up with Sam?
My internet's just gone funny. My internet's gone funny. It's coming back. We're back. Yes, it has been a good week for Eastleigh. We're back. So excited. The internet can't cope with it down here that Eastleigh are top of the league. That's what's happened. It's all gone nuts. No, everyone's I try and get to Eastleigh once or twice a year. It's like about 5 minutes, I think, from where I am. And they've sort of had the perennial same season for the past 4 seasons where they start off okay and it drifts off and then they drop out of the playoffs and whatever. But I think that they were 2-0 down against Fylde, but they were playing really well and didn't deserve to be 2-0 down. And they just looked really good. It's all clicking going forward. Keeping Paul McCullum's been absolutely massive for them. There's a bit of a concern because he went off in midweek injured after half an hour and waiting to see how bad that is. Hopefully it's not too bad because he's massively important. But yeah, for Eastleigh to be top of the league 3 out of 3, it's pretty impressive. They've been in that National League now for 10 years, I think. They've made the playoff semis twice. Been pretty consistent in top half kind of finishes, mid-table. So, the thought of Eastleigh getting anywhere near the Football League is crazy because they've come up through through the divisions over the years, and that stadium's got bigger and bigger. The old Silver Lake Stadium. They obviously watched me play five-a-side out the back 10 years ago, and slowly, they're picking up how to stick in the back of the net. So no, really positive for Eastleigh. A great start. A win over Fylde, and then we'll come on the second one as well with Solihull Moors too. So it's a really positive week for them. I think the expectations are still kind of anything that they could sneak into those playoffs would be an absolute result. They've had some ownership issues last couple of years. That seems to settle down a little bit. And it looks like a good group of players, but Paul McCullum's as good a striker in that division. So if they can keep him firing and fit, they've got a chance.
Is Scott Quigley still at Eastleigh?
Quigley's still there as well. Yeah. And they're working quite well together, those two. So bring it on. Let's do it, Eastleigh. Now's the time. Let's get up to League Two. You can all come and visit Eastleigh when we're in League Two.
Yeah. Next podcast trip. Ben, I'll come to you. Any standouts on Saturday's result list in the National League?
I think, to be fair, the Sutton media team will be massively relieved after they won that game 5-0, because I don't know if anyone saw what they posted, maybe ones that didn't see in the chat. So Sutton obviously went out some content and whatever. They went out to people in the public basically asking how to pronounce this team name, which was obviously Altrincham. And obviously there were a lot of good responses back. Altrincham fans took a lot of offence to it. So the pressure was probably on Sutton, to be honest, to get a result. Otherwise, they could have been battered by about everyone.
Why though? Because it is spelled Altrincham.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how well you say it. Like, up north, that with your accent or whatever. The Southerners will go Altrincham. But yeah, the 5-0 victory, that's a good one for Sutton, because they've kept sort of their fairly good start to the season up. And obviously, I would have mentioned, Eastleigh's win against last season's playoff. Obviously, we'll come to that anyway. Eastleigh's 4-2 victory over Fylde. But I think the other one as well, probably Aldershot against Halifax. Halifax are a difficult side to beat at home. Aldershot have always been fairly good on the road, to be fair, and that's an important victory for them. They really want to get in the playoffs this year. With they've got a good squad together. They've started fairly well in the league. So it's fairly a steady start. So I'd expect them to be in and around that playoff area again with the talents they've got going forward. I know they've just lost Josh Stokes, have they? I think he's gone now. So obviously that's big shoes to fill, but they've still got the likes of Jack Barham, who I know is capable of scoring a lot of goals at that level, so he's going to have to step up again. But they're probably the standout results for me from that Saturday afternoon.
Luke in the chat as well, obviously our Gateshead fan, so they played Woking. So Woking nil, Gateshead 2, and he put Woking away, a game that was very much overshadowed by that horrific Greg Ollie injury, but overall a decent performance, which we dedicated the win to Greg Ollie. Oh. Bless him. Claire, do you know what? I'm going to come to you. Any standouts for you on the National League?
Ben has nabbed it, because I was going to mention Sutton. It's a really fun
Bloody hell, Ben.
Sorry.
They're just on a bit of a high, aren't they? They've obviously got Paul Brunson's just come in as one of the owners, and is making a lot of noise about him. And I really like the incentive that he's done. It's kind of warmed me a bit to Sutton, because he's doing this thing it's like a Club 100, they've called it. And it's people that have either never been to a football match or people that have had bad experiences at football matches, and they want to basically get this group of 100 people together. I don't know, I think it's 100 people, and basically let them have an authentic experience at Sutton, because he's saying, I'd never been to a football match before, and my very first game, when Sutton scored, I was jumping around and hugging a stranger, and he's like, I've never had an experience like it. And obviously all of us know that that's what happens when you're a football fan. So I've kind of warmed a bit to Sutton for that reason. But you also have to mention Forest Green, because obviously I was probably a little bit harsh in saying that I don't think we'll ever see him in the Football League again. But that was just purely based on how bad they were last season. But I know that they've recruited really well over the summer. But I know it's Boston who were expected to pretty much go down, but I think that's just a really good away win. Especially, overturning such a losing mentality that they must have in that club from such a poor season.
No, I completely agree. This comment made me laugh as well. What was the Rochdale game like, Shah? To be fair, this Rochdale game was probably one of the most frustrating Rochdale games I've seen. The amount of chances that we had, but we just couldn't score. Honestly, if we put them chances away, we would have easily won like 5-1. It was that ridiculous. Cairo Mitchell had chances. He went off at half time. I don't know the reason for that because he was back playing on Tuesday. So I don't know if it was illness. I don't know if he had a slight injury. I'm not too sure. Toby Adebayo rolling had a great chance as well, which it's just so frustrating because the goals that we should be scoring, the chances we should be putting away. But yeah, and then obviously typical Rochdale, we end up missing these chances, and then typical Rochdale, we go 1-0 down. But then late on into the game, our left wing back, Alarakia, who we got from Wealdstone, scored a very good goal. And then it was fairly funny, actually, because we all wanted to celebrate with him, all our players. And he was like, no celebrating. Come on, hurry up. We can get the winner here. And we were so close as well to getting a winner. But it was just one of them games where we should have won. We dominated. We have so many chances, but we just couldn't score. So we are looking decent now, which is good, that game. It's a lot more positive than last season, attacking wise. But I don't want to say too much because then we'll get on to Tuesday's game where it wasn't as good. So I don't want to contradict myself. Luke says in the chat as well, it seems like Boston are trying to get used to this league and find their feet in this league, as it's a big step up from National League North to the National League.
It is. I'm going, guys. Sorry to love you and leave you, but enjoy the rest
bye, Claire.
of the show.
Bye, Claire.
Bye, Claire.
Bye.
Love you all.
Love you.
Bye, love ya.
I don't know if you, Rebecca, or you, Kieran, want to mention any standouts. You don't have to, but is there any on the screen?
I've got one, and it's because I really like Yeovil. I really, really like Yeovil. I've liked them for. I'm sorry, Ben, but I like Yeovil. No, we would like it. It almost bridges off the common of Boston trying to find their feet because of how much a jump it is. But I think Yeovil, off of early doors, they've settled in really well. They're opening 3 games. They've won 2 of them, and albeit, yes, it's not against sides that you'd expect to be up there, but a relatively solid 1-0 win against Coventry, like that's something that you could be looking at further down the season if Yeovil are to potentially perform as expected and maybe be down the lower end of the table, and you could look at that result and go, that could mean a lot towards the end of it. So, no, like as much as it's only it's not a glamorous scoreline. I think it's relatively positive enough to where they can definitely build on that.
Rebecca, do you want to mention any? You don't have to.
On mute. I was going to mention like Forest Green. I mean, yeah. Very, very strong win for them. Like as Clay said, we saw them struggle last season in League 2. So it's like to be able to bounce and get the 4-0 win. It's just they've regrouped well, and yeah, it was a very good result for them.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, the win from Barnet as well, away at Ebbsfleet. Ebbsfleet, I tipped to someone to struggle. I think I actually had them in relegation for my predictions. Wealdstone as well, losing again. Oldham seem to be doing very well at the minute. I was quite unsure about Oldham at the start of the season because I thought the recruitment wasn't. I don't want to say it wasn't that good, but I don't think it was as strong as it has been in previous seasons. But they've really surprised me. Starting Oldham, I think they've had some really good results. So I think that's a good win for them. I will give them some credit for once.
You're saying that between gritted teeth.
I really am. Obviously, it wasn't just this Saturday, though. We had a double game week. So Tuesday's result, I'm just going to get it out of the way first. York City 1, Rochdale 0. And to be honest, I'm actually shocked that it was 1-0 to York, because I thought they could have had a lot more. We were just very poor. I'm also a very big fan of Jim McNulty, and I have a lot of respect for Jim McNulty, but he came out in his after the game in his interview and said that we were unlucky, we were the better team, and we're all like, what? We really weren't. So we were a bit like gobsmacked by that. We just weren't good enough. It really did show that. It was a bit of a contrast, because obviously, even though we didn't get the result we wanted and we should have got the win on Saturday, we played very, very well, and we had a lot of chances, and it was just a total opposite on Tuesday. I think we should have probably started Aaron Henry as well, our number 5, but I think we're a bit scared this season, and we have got the squad at the minute to rotate, but I think we should have probably kept him in that midfield. I think Jim McNulty's substitutions were very late as well. Didn't bring on Ian Henderson. I mean, when you're 1-0 down, who are you going to bring on? So just for that as well, I was fuming. But I think his substitutions were very late, because when he did bring them substitutions on, we did look like we were going to score, and we did have chances. Right at the end as well, Ebanks Landell had a chance, a headed chance from a corner, and that should have done better. And then James Berger, I love his name, Berger, because I'm a foodie. He hit the side netting, like last chance of the game as well. So we did have chances, but it just wasn't good enough from us. I just wanted to give some credit to York as well, because they look like a very, very good side this season, and I think they will be up there. Felix, I think he's called, one of their players. Is it? Oh, what's his first name? I can't remember his first name, but he's called Felix anyway. One of their players. Yes, he's such a good player. Like, what a player he is for them, and I honestly think that he will go far. I think he'll be in the Football League in the next few seasons, because what a player he was, and he totally ran it for them. I was very surprised he didn't get man of the match, to be honest. Tyree Sinclair got it, who did play for us last season. He had quite a frustrating game as well, so I was quite surprised he got it, and it wasn't Felix. But yeah, York, compared to last season, how obviously they did last season, I know they went on a good run and they survived, but this season they do look like a very, very good side, so one to watch out for. Sam, I'll come to you next. Any standouts, or do you want to speak about Eastleigh again? It's up to you.
Eastleigh won again. Yeah, great. Way. 3 out of 3. Yeah, for Eastleigh, opposite of the game at the weekend, they came out the blocks flying rather than having to come back and sort of had it done 10 minutes in. As you mentioned, so it was Quigley to McCullum was the combination for the second one before McCullum went off injured. But yeah, I say Kelvin Davis seems to be getting things together there. I think he came in, I want to say around February last season. I know he got a 3-year contract in the summer, so starting to put some stuff together. So yeah, against Solihull Moors, really good side there to kind of get that win. So yeah, same as before, really. Eastleigh buzzing, but just waiting on that McCullum injury. I was trying to find some stuff today, but it doesn't seem like it's confirmed yet. But hope, fingers crossed, that's nothing too dramatic. It's always nice to see Southend win. I always like to see.
I know, I love Southend.
Oh. In the green after all the stuff they've gone with. So anytime Southend are in the green, be my standouts, those two.
Yeah, completely agree. Rebecca, any for you?
I mean, you've got Forest Green getting beat after a very strong 4-0 win at the weekend.
And Kieran at the bottom.
And then, I mean, like Boston, another defeat for them in like quite a short space, and 4-0 and 2-0. It's like they just I think they're like trying to find their feet in the National League, but it's just not really working, and they've just not settled in as well as they could have done, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. Ben?
I think, to be fair, big credit to them and Braintree Town getting their first win back at this level. Yeah. They made a bit of a shock signing about, just when they announced the team, like the Lucas Coverland's come from underneath his rock. and decided to sign for them, which was we were all a bit bemused. We were as Stones fans. We were thinking, I don't know if that was quite a step up for him, but I guess, to play in that league again, which is what he wanted, and it didn't surprise me. And that was there to come back from behind as well, too. Fairly late goals from Kyril Lisby, who was playing 8th tier last year. And what way to introduce yourself back into this. He built on from a great season with Cray Valley last year, obviously playing in first round of the FA Cup, scoring in the first round of the FA Cup as well against Charlton. It was going to be a huge step up for him, but that will give him the world of confidence now that he knows he feels like he'll belong at that level. That's key. We've always said, I think Braintree, their chance of staying up is dependent on their home record, because they're always quite strong at home. Even when they made the playoffs that year, about a good 9 years ago, I think we're talking 8-9 years ago, they were very strong at home under the Cowley brothers, and they have to make that place a horrible place to go. And for any side going there, it is a horrible place to go. They will, time waste. They will, try and get in your head a little bit. That's the sort of club they are, but that's the mentality they have, and that's, that shithousery will give them a chance of staying up. And if they can pull off results against, good sides like Aldershot and having to come back from behind, then that will certainly put him in good stead. But again, probably like Sam said, well, Eastleigh victory over, last season's playoff finalists as well. They need to have made a tremendous start. I don't really like them as a football club, to be honest, because I've had a bad experience with their media team before, and we won't go into detail about that. They're basically just being arses to us. So that's my my contributions with them.
Give me their names, Ben. I'll sort them out. Don't worry.
I got the guy's name. Don't you worry about that.
I'll send the boys around.
But on the pitch, that's a tremendous start for them. Like, I think Sam's right. And they normally tend to be up there at the start of the season, and then they just drift slowly off towards the bottom half of the table. And it will be interesting to see if they can actually maintain it this year. So I think we always say at the start of the season, if you get as many points as you can on the board, that sort of sets the tone. And if they can get off to get sort of 7-8 wins in the first, 14 games, 15 games, and I think that they will say that's a really good start for them. So that's the two standout results.
Kieran, have you got any?
My favourite team, Yeovil, once more. Picking up victory against potential fellow relegation candidates, Ebbsfleet. Not quite as defensively stable by the looks of things. I'm not going to lie and say I watched the game, but when you're basing it off of, having that negative potential of conceding 2 at home, there's been teams that you'll see further on the season that won't exactly kick on very well if they concede 2 at home. But to give them their stars, to pick up a 3-2 win, it's one of the things where you could be looking at it later down the line in the season and say that's a really important win towards what they want to achieve, whether it is just staying up or whether it's trying to be stable mid-table or whatever it is. It's definitely a step in the right direction.
Definitely. As well in the chat, we do have Luke. So the Gateshead game, obviously against Halifax. So it was FC Halifax 1, Gateshead 1. And he has put Halifax away, a very hard fought and good point on the road against one of our bogey sides. Shame we couldn't win it at the end though. Roll on Yeovil at home on Saturday, which is an early kickoff. That'll be a really interesting game, to be fair. A good game. Graham has put as well, Sam's fellas will turn up wielding the tennis rackets.
To be fair, they're dangerous, these tennis rackets. The bloke I played with the other day managed to gouge his own head with one, so they can be...
Wow.
Tried to hit a shot and it bounced off the floor and took half of his forehead with it, so yeah.
Never underestimate the power of tennis rackets.
Exactly.
Dangerous.
Dangerous stuff.
Before we look at the table as well, I just wanted to answer Dietrich's question. So she's asked me, how is Ryan East doing, Shah? Well, Ryan East is my favourite Rochdale player. He's such a consistent performer for us in that midfield. Him and Harvey Gilmore last season were like the rocks of our midfield. And the two players that, they just do everything right. They're just so consistent. And together, they're like the great midfield partnership. We've managed to get Aaron Henry on loan from Charlton, who is a very good player as well. So at the minute, we are rotating between those three in the midfield. in the midfield position. But yeah, Ryan East is probably one of our best players. He's just so good. I love him. I love Easter. So he's doing very well. Very well.
Yay.
We love Easter. I know. And Lucas put, poor Yeovil fans coming down at an early kickoff. Oh, that is true. That is true. So we have Sam, who is top of the National League.
Beastly Eastleigh, the top of the league.
So Eastleigh are top on 9 points. In second, for Luke, we have Gateshead on 7 points. Sutton are third on 7 points. Then we have in fourth place, Oldham Athletic on 7 points. York City on 7 points. Hartlepool on 7 points. And Barnet are seventh on 6 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have Wealdstone in 21st, Maidenhead in 22nd, Ebbsfleet in 23rd, and Boston, bless them, at the bottom of the National League at the minute. Ben, I'll come to you. You're our National League North and National League South. Like, you've got the knowledge for us.
Wouldn't say the North, but you know, I do feel sorry.
Well, you're better than all of us. And Chris in the chat as well. Please have your say. You're more than welcome to.
Yes. I mean, yeah, the standout result probably from that Saturday was Brackfield's win over Chester. They had a tough start to the season. I think a 3-0 against Scunthorpe. So, yeah, they needed to get a win back on the board in Chester. They've probably not started quite the way they would have wanted. I know they won on Tuesday, but yeah, the 1-0 defeat at home against a fellow promotion rival, you know, probably not going to stand in a good stead. I think it was a goal sort of midway into the second half. I think it was from Brackley. I think it was Connor Hall got the winning goal. So, yeah, that's key for them. And, yeah, actually, you know, I think I know Chris has put something in the conversation, but I was going to say Leamington's win over Spennymoor. You know, they've just come back up recently, Leamington, and, you know, to compete against a side again that will be in and around that promotion zone. You know, Leamington will be a side looking to consolidate at that level. So, yeah, to get a 3-1 victory over them, that's a outstanding result for them, to be perfectly honest. But, yeah, I mean, again, Needham Market just losing out there a little bit there. Finding tough start to life at National North level, as we probably predicted, but clearly given Southport, you know, a hell of a game in that, and Southport always a side that, you know, I'd always expect to be around the playoff area, but they've been underachieving in the last
there as manager. Jim Bentley was our ex-manager. I know he did go there. I think it was last season. I don't know if he's still there or not.
This is where I need Chris to come in on this one.
I'm thinking he is, because I'm sure they've got Danny Lloyd and Sam Minahan as well, who were ex-Gale.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
He is, yeah. I've just Googled it. I didn't have a fucking clue before Googling it.
That's a bit of a step down actually for Danny Lloyd, because as I say, he wasn't that long ago. He was playing the Football League, was he? So I guess I don't know if it's a money thing or not. Or, you know, I know he's had injuries in the past, haven't they? You know, pretty bad injuries. So whether that's contributed to it or not. But yeah, like I mean, Kennedy Minister as well. They've continued their good start to the season. You know, they're looking to bounce back straight away into the National League, and you know they're always a bit like us a little bit, mate. So you know, a bit of a yo-yo club dip between National League and National North. So yeah, again they're setting their marker on the league and 3-0 victory over Radcliffe, who I've predicted to be the dark horses this year. So yeah, that's a good start for them.
Just before we move on to Tuesday's fixtures, Chris has mentioned in the chat, so Leamington away, after everything went great against Chester, everything went wrong against Leamington, with injuries to defenders. We had to bring a new player in on loan from Derby County and put him straight in the team. Just a very poor day. We've given away a stupid penalty as well. We lost 3-1 in the end. And then he also put 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. day going to Leamington and back for the team and supporters. Long day. Very long day for them.
Long day. The football season is back, isn't it?
And Tuesday's fixtures.
Well, I'll just have a quick mention, actually, because I've just seen Mr. Luke's comment actually, about the Curzon Ashton game, because I actually saw the penalty decision that was given against South Sheet. It was an absolute disgrace, it was. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was supposedly a challenge where I think the guy clearly got the ball. I don't know if it was a pullback or not. I can't remember exactly, but I just remember walking away thinking, no, that is absolutely ridiculous. But nothing surprises me with the officials at our level. I mean, they've actually only just introduced fourth officials actually this year to National North and National South levels. And it's interesting because they brought those in, but they haven't actually got headsets at all. And you think, well, what's the point of having 4 officials if they're not going to have headsets to be able to talk to each other? So again, I find that a little bit bizarre. But yeah, if anyone
they
hasn't
just
seen
have to shout from one end of the pitch to the other.
Yeah, well,
just
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, yeah, I'd be looking at that, to be honest. But yeah, if anyone hasn't seen it, then go on YouTube or Twitter to find the penalty decision, because it was an absolute disgrace. It was.
Simon as well in the chat has put, Scunthorpe used to be a championship side. I didn't realise they've fallen so far down the league. She ever did. She really struggled recently.
Right.
In the chat as well, Chris has mentioned the Southport game. So he's put Southport at home. What a difference a few days make. Played so much better on Tuesday. Glenn Taylor with 2 goals in the second half, one from a header and another from a quality shot. What a win. And then he's put, after a disappointing Saturday, and raised just over £2,000 for Alder Hay Children's Charity. I love that. That's brilliant. Well done. I love that so much. As well, Lucas put, Needham Market's first win in the National League North is coming. I feel it. It's because Ant's adopted them as his National League North team. It's jinxed them. It's Ant's fault.
It's when I hear Needham Market in the National, I think it's a Grand National horse. I
love it. Any standouts on this one for you, Ben?
I think Scarborough's victory over Chorley is a pretty big one, actually. And Chorley always, in the second, third best team, normally National North and Scarborough. Have always sort of been flirting with sort of towards relegation, bottom half of the table. So to go there on a Tuesday night and get a 2-1 victory there, it's pretty key for them, and even at this early stage of the season. I think Farsley Celtic as well, getting a 3-0 victory over Marine. Obviously, Marine with coming back up, they've started fairly well. Marine in the league, they've got actually no, I say that they haven't started very well. For some reason, I thought they'd already won a game, but they hadn't. So this is why I'm absolutely no use. I just took the National North. This is why I need one of the experts to come on and do this.
Yeah, we need someone. We need National League North. I don't have a bastard clue.
Any National North pundits out there that want to come on, then please, by all means, just stop making me look stupid in front of the camera here. But yeah, again, Farsley Celtic, even then, it's still an important win for them at this stage. Again, a side that I tipped to go down, and they've got themselves a 3 goals and a clean sheet. Can't go wrong with that against a difficult side like Marine. With the money they've obviously embraced, they're still using off from the FA Cup. And obviously Marine's still first time at this level. It's a very hostile place to go to. Seeing how everyone sees how enclosed their ground is, and to go and get that's going to be key for them, I think, come the end of the season. So yeah, I think that's an outstanding one. And yeah, obviously a big up to Chester, who managed to recover and that getting to the victory over Radcliffe. Yeah. They've finally kick-started their season now. Some of the promotion teams they say start slow, finish strong, and I think that might be the direction they're going in. Possibly they might be getting their bad season form out of the way now and saving it till later on when it really matters. So again, I still back them to be in the playoffs and that, and obviously, hopefully for them, this win kickstart their season, because actually I quite like Chester as a football club. I always remember going there years ago to do Coventry in there, and they were so welcoming. They were as a club, and they were going through a difficult stage, but they just got relegated as well back to the National North. And yeah, no, I can't fault Chester. We've always had a good relationship with them, I think. So yeah, well done to them.
Yeah, this one shocked me as well. What Chris has put, Hereford drawing against Peterborough Sports is a big shock.
I didn't even know Hereford were in this division.
Yeah.
I've only just found that out.
Paul Caddy's still their manager, who used to play for Birmingham and Swindon. I'm pretty sure he is.
No idea, because I know it was Josh Gowden there at Hereford at one point, but I don't know. I don't think he's there anymore. I don't want to say he's there anymore. I could be completely wrong.
Kieran will be on it Googling.
Google time.
The only thing I know about National League North is that Josh Woods' brother, Connor Woods, plays for Warrington, and I think he could have been like their leading goal scorer or something last season. Like he's a good player for him.
Paul Cardiff is manager at Hereford.
I'll tell you what, I'm smashing the managers in National League North, aren't I?
You should be leading the show.
Give me a quiz. Give me a quiz.
You can do all the talk in the National North. You guys
I know. Back off, Ben. I'm the new National League North pundit. I'm not.
I don't take no offence to that.
Luke has put as well. If I can actually click on it, I can't do. You need to do these buttons, Ben, because I'm rubbish at this tonight. Luke has put Farsley going to be a side who just wouldn't go.
Down, not die.
Down. I was like, that's a bit aggressive, Luke.
They wouldn't die.
Christ.
Oh, bless him. He's put this pesky phones on Rex. I was going to say that's a bit harsh, Luke. What's Tenerife done to you?
I've heard of people saying I want your team to go down. Not, I want your team to die. Is a little bit.
Bless him. We love Luke. So the table for the National League North. So we have Scunthorpe United, top of the league on 9 points. Curzon Ashton are second with 9 points. Kidderminster are third, also with 9 points. Buxton are fourth with 9 points. Scarborough are fifth with 7 points. Farsley are... I always feel like I'm saying Farley after Matt Farley. Farsley are sixth with 6 points. Spennymoor for Chris are seventh with 6 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have Ratcliffe, who are 21st on 1 point. Marina 22nd on 1 point. Rushall Olympic are 23rd with no points. And Ant's adopted team are rock bottom.
Up the Needham Market. They're going to have it points. Very soon. Up the Grand National horse.
Now, Ben, this is your speciality. Talk to us. Do you want to speak about Maidstone first, or do you want to get any standout results out of the way first?
Oh, I'll get the standout results out of the way first, I think, before I condense my words very carefully.
This was from Saturday.
Yeah, I think the big one, probably Farnborough have had a fantastic start to the season. They
Very good.
Won a victory over Torquay United, who everyone's expecting to be challenging possibly for the league, but really to be in the playoffs. I think they've recruited quite well. They've kept hold of a fair amount of their key players, and they've always been a difficult side. I mean, they went on a really good run towards the end of last season, and had they started like that, they could have well been in the playoffs. So for them, it's good to see that they've sort of carried on their form. That Spencer Day's done a very good job down there, and he's really instilled it into them that they are going to be a hard side to beat this year. So that's outstanding for them. I mean, I'd say it's not. Most of them are pretty sort of standard, to be fair. That the results actually, because like I say, there's not really been too many shots on that Saturday. I mean, Eastbourne going to Hornchurch and getting a victory there. Hornchurch is going to be a very difficult place for everyone to go to. With the atmosphere they create, obviously the athletics track plays a big part as well. Just the whole ground itself, it makes it a horrible place to go. I've never enjoyed my trips to Hornchurch, so again, that's going to be key for them if they are to go and push on this year. I think it was our ex-Stone Alfie Pavey that got the winner there for Eastbourne. So yeah, they've starting to show now what they've got in terms of bringing to the table, because everyone's hasn't really talked about them this year, but I think they've got a chance of being in the playoffs because of the recruitment they've got. They've gone now to I know they've gone to 3 mornings a week now. I know they did that last year, but they've spent the budget a little bit better this year. So I think that's the outstanding result. Us, on the other hand, that probably was, I guess, the standout result over the weekend. Obviously not in our case, but in Truro City's case. It was a very poor performance, I found. The vast majority of it, I think first half we were okay in patches. We didn't really test them, defensively as much as we would have liked. We went, the difference was they were better. Their biggest strength they were going to have against us, Truro, was set pieces. They scored from 2 free kicks, technically, from crosses into the box. Will Dean, who I was warned by their media guy that, he takes everything for them, corners, free kicks, I think penalties as well, I guess. So he whips one in to the back post, and there were question marks over the goalkeeping, whether Alexis Andre Jr., whether he should have come out for it. I personally think he should have done. They've headed it back across goal, and Christian Oxlade-Chamberlain's at the far post to nod it in and put them a goal ahead. And they were well deserving of it. I think at the time, Truro, they'd started a better side. They were very effective on the counter-attack and caused us a lot of issues. We just weren't at the races at all. We really couldn't create many clear-cut chances. It was such a frustrating afternoon. And it took till the 85th minute where Rhys Greenwich, we just brought on as a substitute for George Fowler, gets goal with a head injury. Well, thankfully, it wasn't too bad because he'd only just cut his nose. We thought he might have broken it, but it was only a cut nose in the end. So we had 2 corners literally as soon as he came on. First one, he heads it. He was cleared off the line. The second one, it's an outstanding goal with his kneecap. He scored straight from the corner on the volley. One of the better ones I've seen. And, obviously everyone gets going. And I didn't really think we deserved it. Maybe the 10, 15 4 out, we'd starting to come into it more. But I was thinking we probably didn't deserve that at all. So, we would have said to them, we'll take a point here. It's an unbeaten start at home. 5 minutes later, and we got hit with a sucker punch second goal. And, very, very big question marks over whether it was over the line or not. Again, Will Dean crosses it to the back post. It was, mistakenly nodded back, to be honest, by his knee again. Reece Green towards goal. And it was, I believe, Cavia who got the first one. Well, I thought was over the line, cleared away. And then Tyler Harvey had another one, again, stopped on the line. Everyone was complaining that the line didn't flag for it. From my view, he flagged for it straight away, so I had absolutely no complaints over it. It's hard because I've seen the video footage and even have the GoPro footage behind it. It's still quite inconclusive, but I think that part of me is saying I think it might have just gone over the line. So it's not quite really the way we wanted it to go. But to be fair, we didn't deserve anything out of the game. So Truro were very worthy of the 3 points. John Askey's got them to play in a really good performance. That's two good performances I've been told, against two the real strong promotion candidates. Obviously, they only narrowly lost to Dorking last week, and for them to come to us, it's everyone was going to raise their game, and they got the 3 points, and we start our home campaign off with a defeat. So it's not ideal, and it's put us under a little bit of pressure, which I'll come on to with Tuesday's results.
A question from our very own Sam as well. Sam, do you want to read it and ask him?
Yeah, this lovely chap in the chat's got a question. He didn't want to interrupt your flow, Ben. Do you worry after your run last year, a team seeing you as a scout more this year, and are you seeing that as a problem?
I think so. I would say so. I think we always said, at the start of the season, I think even George said that, everyone's going to come and raise the game. It's been like that for years, to be fair, even when we've been at this level before. But I think because of the cup run and that, everyone probably does see us now as, one of the real big boys in the team. I mean, in terms of fan base, I think only Torquay have probably got a bigger fan base than us. And, only maybe it depends what they sort of get in regular home games. But we had 2,000, the first two home games, which has been outstanding, to be fair. But, I think the way the team set up, I think the way that Truro set up was very much counter-attack minded. But I think they've always been like that, to be fair, because they know what capabilities they've got, in their resources, because obviously their resources are very limited in comparison to a lot of the teams at this level. And, they're going to find effective ways of beating teams. And to be fair to Truro, I had them down to have them in my predictions go down. But if they can put in a performance like they did across the season, like they did against us, they will stay up comfortably because they were very effective at what they did. Tyler Harvey up top for them. I rated him last year when we went up to Gloucester and played them, when there was ground sharing there. And, I would say that let's say that a lot of teams are going to probably set up like that against us. And I've always said we're under more pressure at home than we are away from home because our fans expect. And, I think to be fair, we could really do a away game now, which we have got on Saturday. So, we need to really pick it up. And the lads are under a bit of pressure. But again, they knew that was going to be the case when they came in, most of the signings.
Now, the real question is, have Truro sorted their ground out? Because they had that thing last season, didn't they? Where they had to play in. Have they sorted that now?
Yeah,
so home fans they don't have to travel, what was it, like 120 miles for a home game? Something like that? Unreal.
No, it was ridiculous. And I have seen the pictures of the ground. It's very basic, it is, but it looks like a very good setup there. The pitch looks absolutely lovely. It's a case of can they keep it maintained like that, because it's important for them to be back in the town now. And, for their fans, I think they had 2,500, I think, for their game against Dorking. So, a massive credit to them. I think Dorking took a fair amount with them, but, that's an incredible, stat for them. And if they can put in performances like they did against us, those fans will keep coming back to them. So, they've clearly started off the season with much positive mindset because of maybe the new ground and, new manager as well, an experienced manager. And, there's no reason why they won't go and do it this year. Thanks, Claire.
Just quickly going back to the chat as well. Chris said, Farnborough got a great result over Torquay. He also put Weymouth haven't started well. And Luke said, a bit of news, Torquay United, Austin Booth has received a 9-month ban due to placing 289 bets on matches between August 2017 to July 2021.
Rocky numbers.
Big loss for them. He's a good player as well. For that, in that level, he would be smashing it. So that's going to be a massive loss for them.
Right, Ben.
Or
anyone else? Anyone else?
Yeah, we'll start with that. I think obvious one to pick out there. Slough Town, what a victory for them at Enfield the other night. They have been tipped to do really well this season. I like the manager, Scott Davis. I've got huge respect for him for what he's done down there. And Enfield, I think, have just got the big, welcome to the National South moment. I think that was a very, very tough night for them all round. I just don't think they were not at the races at all. 6 goals away from home, it should not be happening against any side at any level. But for that to happen in their third game at this level, it's a massive come down. And again, defensively is going to be key for them because this league is very relentless. And if you're not on your guard, we will get punished. And even teams like Slough, will punish you. So I would fully expect Slough to go and do well, but I don't think anyone expected a result quite like that. And I think, to be fair, for Chippenham as well, actually to go and get a win at Weymouth, I think obviously going back on Chris's comment, Weymouth again, they were a side I expected to be down there. I just don't think they've recruited well at all. The manager, did good, did really well the first time around in the National League. I think he got them promoted. Obviously that was during COVID, but this time round, I think he's coming at the wrong time. I just don't think something's wrong there at the moment at Weymouth, and I would be very surprised if they do stay up this year. I just can't see him, pulling off a miracle and staying up. I think there was quite a fair few draws and quite a few, away wins under the belt. I think Western-super-Mare getting a victory over Chesham as well. That's key for them. They've sort of kickstarted their season now. It was always going to be a matter of time for them, and especially after what happened against Worthing last week, that was going to be key for them. For us, on the other hand, it was one of the most boring games I've watched for a long time. I think there, in terms of both teams, I think there was a combined probably 2 shots on target, one good chance for each side. They had one slid down the middle, which Alexis Andre Jr. had to stand big for, which I thought he did really well. To stand his ground. That was probably the biggest threat they had, Hampton. But again, we never threatened. I don't think we had our shot on target until about 71 minutes. Aaron Blair's shot across goal was good save by Ted Kurd, the Hampton keeper, but we were just so negative. Going wise, attacking wise, and the trouble is, with George's tactics, it goes one way or the other. You'll get a 1-0 victory. Everyone loves him to pieces. You think he's a tactical genius. But when it goes wrong, everyone thinks, why are we playing hoofball? Why are we going back, defensively all the time? Why is it never going forward? Because we've got so much attacking talent in this side, and I don't think they're probably used to being used to the potential that we know they're capable of hitting. Obviously, some people might have seen it. His comments after the game, have obviously left a lot of supporters with a sour taste in their mouths because he basically called out supporters, saying because they went around after the game clapping the fans, the players, but he started to have a go at supporters for not clapping, and he classed them as not true supporters in a couple of interviews after the game, and I could tell it was a heat of the moment. He really looks absolutely incensed. I think the fact that, and I did have sympathy for him because, we're 3 games into the season and the team are already getting booed. And I just don't think that's the way to go about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. For any club, you pay your money. You're entitled to your views and that of the team. But 3 games into a new season where, we've signed, I think, 9 new players. It's a completely new squad this year and they're still gelling together pre-season. And it just shows pre-season means absolutely nothing. It's all about getting your fitness work. And if you don't start doing it on the pitch during league games, then, people will start to, throw comments at us. And it was a very difficult night because it didn't go down with a lot of supporters. And a massive credit does have to go to George because he did release a statement via our club website today to apologise to the supporters, and he said he fully regretted his comments. He said it was a heat of the moment thing. He's learned from that experience because he didn't play. He's still a new manager. He's still very new into coaching. And, I think he got a lot of respect back from from supporters. Obviously, there'll still be a few which still won't take it on board until something happens. And I'm really glad he's done it now, because I would have hated to go to Chippenham on Saturday knowing that a lot of supporters were going to be against it, because a lot of talk from supporters was to boycott. Standing in the Jenko end, to sing to the sing. They said they would leave early, not clap the players. There was the serious calls of that, and I'm really glad that George has come out of that, and he knows full well he can't be making comments like that at this stage of the season. No. He knows that. But I did get it for his frustration, because at the end of the day, we all want to do really well this year, and obviously we've not started maybe as well as some of the teams in the league that are tips to do well have. But I said, look, we didn't, when we won the National South last time, we didn't kickstart our season until about November time. So, we're 3 games into the season. We've got loads of time to do it. There's still over 120 points to play for, and we have got 2 clean sheets out of 3. So, I know it's a case of, if we can sort it out the other end, scoring goals, we've got enough quality in that side to do it. We'll be okay. So, I think supporters just need to put things into perspective. But I'm hoping now that everything's been brushed under the carpet now a little bit, and we can sort of move on and get back to hopefully winning ways on Saturday.
Hope so. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Any other standouts before we look at the table?
I don't think so, to be honest. I mean, the Dorking Bournemouth game was a 2-2. Expected a draw probably out of that one. 2 early title contenders, and that I think Bournemouth had to come back from behind twice. So
didn't they score quite late, Bournemouth?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was in the last 10 minutes they got there. Yeah, so that's a key point for them at the start of the season, because you don't want to lose ground on title rivals early on. So yeah, I think I expected a draw, and Bournemouth will certainly take that away at Meadowbank.
I keep reading Salisbury as Sainsbury's.
I can't think of Bournemouth without thinking when we went in the FA Cup and it's just an open away end and it was absolutely lashing it down and we drew, so we had to do a replay at Aki. I still like that away match haunts me.
Bless you.
The ground haunts me as a whole. The whole experience of going to Bournemouth has not been with pleasure. We've got to go there during the bank holiday weekend, or just after the bank holiday weekend, so I'm not looking forward to it. I'll try and stay away from it.
Quickly looking at the table now. So top of the league, we have Farnborough on 9 points. We have Hemel Hempstead, who are second on 7 points. Boreham Wood are third on 7 points. Then we have Dorking Wanderers, also on 7 points in fourth. We have Slough in fifth on 6 points. Hornchurch, I think, didn't Ant adopt them as well?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
He's adopting everybody. He's like Madonna these days.
I'm going to adopt Sainsbury's. I'm adopting Sainsbury's FC. They're not my team now.
Hornchurch is 6 on 6 points. Torquay are 7th on 6 points. And then we have in 21st Chesham on 1 point. Averley in the 22nd on 1 point. St Albans are 23rd on 1 point. And Weymouth are at the bottom on 0 points, bless them. And then let's quickly go back to the Championship. I'm going to try and act professional now because I've got to go back on my slides right to the beginning. So, Sam, the EFL man, the Championship, you've waited so long.
It's been worth it. It's been worth it to hold on. Look at all that. Green on the left, red on the right. Look at that. No away wins there. Yeah, probably a few standouts, I reckon, for me. First off, today, the Friday night game was... the Friday night games have been excellent so far in the Championship. We had the Blackburn game I watched in the first weekend, and Coventry, Oxford. I saw bits off because there was another game going on Friday that I may have watched instead. So
we won't talk about that, but we'll pretend you didn't.
Not allowed today. But important for Coventry, having Hadji right back, I think, massive for them.
Massive, yeah.
Oxford's keeper, was it Cummings? I think was playing an absolute blind. He made a double save, which was fantastic at one point. But important for Coventry to get that late goal after not winning the first weekend as well. So I think that was a really good result for Coventry. I think obviously Sunderland. I'm sure we'll come on to Sunderland. And we've got something to read out for Ant. So. We'll leave Sunderland for the minute, but they were excellent. Burnley, because it's always nice to see Dan with a smile on his face. Pleased for them with a 5-0. The other ones I want to touch on as well. I think Bristol City, so epic game against Millwall. Scott Twine back from on loan now, permanent, scoring on his return, getting that victory over Millwall. And another goal as well I'm loving their new striker. He keeps coming off that Fally Mayulu. It's just a lovely name. I love saying Fally Mayulu. So I'm happy that he got on the score sheet as well. So some big goals in the Championship this week. But probably those and Sunderland. But I know that Ant's teed Ben up to talk about Sunderland as well, because he was very excited in our chat come Sunday afternoon, should we say.
Just before we move on as well to that, Simon, obviously, he's our Coventry fan, and he's put in a chat, Oxford's goals were preventable. It was shocking defending. It could have been a rugby score if not for their goalie.
He did make some very good saves, but I did think, to be fair, some of Coventry's finishing was not quite as it should have been, I think. So a bit of both, I think. But Simon's right. Yeah, they should have and could have scored more.
In the chat as well, Johnny, this made me laugh. Sorry. It was just the way he just put it, just totally blunt and didn't beat around the bush. We are back to our usual selves, leading 2-0 and then letting 2 cheap goals in. Bless him. Bless him. Chris has put as well, Bristol City versus Millwall 4-3 and Burnley stuffing Cardiff 5-0 were his standouts. And Graham's put, always love a Millwall defeat. Rebecca, any standouts for you or any you want to talk about in the Championship?
Norwich and Blackburn Rovers. Because as an F1 fan, I love the fact that we had Sargent, Sainz and Yuki all score. So they've all got the same names as F1 drivers. So the summer break has gone on long enough. So everything for me is just pointed to F1. So seeing all 3 of them score did make my day. It was a very entertaining match. I didn't really know how Blackburn would react to losing Smodic, because I think it was 24 hours before this match was set to play. So it was going to be quite an interesting one to see how they lined up and how they were able to come back from that with how much of an influential player he was last season. But they did start as the better team, and they were the better team in the first half, in my opinion. They got a goal from Hedges, but then second half, Norwich were just able to bounce back with Sargent and Sainz. And then it was just a case of Norwich just couldn't hold on for long enough. And then Yuki's late goal denied Norwich a comeback. It was an interesting one. I didn't really know, as I said before, how it would fare up with who would take the win, but I think a draw, it was written, I think, because either way, Blackburn have a new system that they've got to work with Smodic leaving, because it is still odd the fact that they played him their first match. So it's like to play him and get used to that again for him to go. It was an odd one, but yeah, it was a good one.
Johnny in the chat on Sheffield United again. Apparently a takeover is edging closer. The only good thing coming this week. Come on, Johnny, think positive. We've got it out of hand. Come on.
Johnny, you're starting to turn into me. Come on. You're starting to turn into me. I'm not liking it.
When Kieran's telling you to be positive, you have to be positive.
There you are.
Ben, any standouts for you on here?
I think we'll talk about, I think, when we come around to Ant's report, but I think Sunderland's win over Sheffield Wednesday is a massive one. I think to get 4 goals against a very good side, that's incredible, start for them. We will come back to that one, I think. But yeah, I think probably the one was Bristol City's one, because I haven't just looked, actually, I didn't realise that Bristol City went 3-2 down and went 4-3 up. I think that's like the typical 4-3 game that you want it to go like a little bit, rather than go 4-0 and then bring it back to 4-3. You prefer the drama like that. And to get late goal for them, that's a great result for them. I caught a little bit of goals in the Coventry Oxford game, and I think Oxford got a bit of a lesson in the Championship of being in terms of game management, because at 2-2 with a few minutes to go, they shouldn't be playing the round that the back they did against a side like Coventry that will punish you. And they were basically said, look, here you go, here's the winning goal for them, and that's a massive lesson to them. Especially after a very good result last week, they sort of hit themselves and in the balls a little bit really after getting back into the game as well. I think they led the game as well, didn't they? Or I can't remember now. But still, that's it's not a bad result for them. But again, they know they should have well got something out of that. I think having if they'd managed the game just a little bit better. But yeah, and obviously Burnley, going on top form. No one tipped in, to be fair, to do the start they've had so far. But 5 goals and a clean sheet at home, perfect start for them and for Dan as well. So yeah, that's probably an outstanding one for Scott Parker. What start to life at Burnley?
I've not seen this as well, but has anyone seen what the Luton goalkeeper did for his red card?
Oh, God,
deary me.
I mean, there's no man's land, and then there's just suicidally.
The funniest thing to me about it is that he got booked and then went, no, I'm not going to reserve myself and, play as a normal keeper. No, instead I'm going to play as a centre-back and absolutely lever my, opposition forward. I found it incredibly funny.
It was one of those moments as well where you get someone complaining about, and you're thinking, what on earth are you complaining about? That could have been a straight red on its own. What on earth are you complaining about?
Literally, he could have been given. He literally could have been given a red for his first challenge, and that second challenge should have been a red anyway. He should have had 3 yellow cards.
It's like, have you ever seen? I forget. I can't remember what the film was called. Mean Machine, where it had the monk as the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Played by Jason Statham, and he just goes out in his head. He's 2 foot. It was like that. Comes steaming out, completely out of control.
Oh my life.
Kieran, any standouts for you or any you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, that Portsmouth Luton game, literally because of that red card, I rate that because when did this red card come? It was about 20 minutes into the game, something along those lines. So, I spoke when we were talking National League South and just National League earlier about teams getting points towards safety early doors, and you look at it and go, yeah, that could be really important. And albeit, yes, Luton are a very good side, even with 10 men. I thought they did relatively well at managing that game and making sure it stayed 0-0. But I think that is a missed opportunity for Portsmouth. I really think that they should have won that. And to be fair, I think a lot of their play did deserve for them to have at least scored once. But sometimes I suppose in football that happens, doesn't it? You have all these ready chances, but you can't convert one of them. It feels like you could be playing that game could be going on now and it would still be 0-0 kind of thing. But no, I suppose it's a good point for Portsmouth, but I suppose they've also missed out a little bit. I always like when Cardiff lose. Hello, Ant, how are we? I always love it when Cardiff lose, especially when they get absolutely battered. Didn't credit Scott Parker, never have, but credit to him. His first, 2 games went bloody brilliantly, and obviously the Sunderland one, that's just incredible in itself, right? But I suppose the other one that I'll mention is Swansea's win over Preston. I think that game for me symbolises the potential of what they could do under Luke Williams. I think that is. There was always the mention of, I suppose, the Swansea way, if you want to put it that way, the way they used to play football in the Premier League, the very quick passing stuff and whatnot. I think they played that to a T on Saturday, and yeah, credit to them. It's a really convincing win, and it's something that they can definitely build on.
Definitely. I don't know. I know obviously you mentioned it, Kieran, but we have got Ant here, and he's just mentioned as well that he's drove 8 hours and he's shattered, but Sunderland are min.
That's good analysis. I like that.
I know. As well, Simon mentioned Sunderland get a big win, and there's no Ant. I know, no Ant. Chris mentioned this was a result I were going to pick, to be fair, the Derby Borough game. I think that's a very good win for Derby. Simon's also put, I loved our winner. Adji Wright took it round the keeper rather than try and chip him. And yeah, who wants to read out Ant's match analysis on Sunderland anyway? Because we keep going on about it, but we've not actually heard about it.
do.
So,
Shall I go for it? I've had
Go
it from
for it.
Sunderland via Stockport. This is where it's come from. So, Ant says, "How are you, bastards?" Okay, I might have ad-libbed that, but he didn't say that. He says, "Well, wow, really, just wow. Wasn't expecting that at all, but what a performance. We were quality from the first whistle. Chef Wedge had absolutely no idea how to cope with our press and completely tore them apart. Dennis Sirkin scored our first from a free kick with a lovely diving header. Mayenda got his first for the club after a lovely finish after we forced Sheffield Wednesday in stake. Another goal from a set piece saw Luke 09 give us a 3-0 lead after 25 minutes. Second half, Mayenda scores his second to make it 4. We were just quality. The side included no new signings, so it just shows what a good team we have despite last season's horror show. Chris Rigg and Joe Bellingham were unplayable. Rigg is 17, man. 17 in capitals with 3 exclamation marks, and he's just going to be awesome. Over the moon, well done the players and the manager, and the fans were superb. Hard game Saturday, but we are back, baby, is what he says there. So, yeah, to be...
And did he end it off with away?
Yeah, away. To be fair, the bits I saw of it, I thought they... what I liked about them was that they kept the intensity up, 3-0 up, completely chasing around, and there was no let off at all. The place was absolutely bouncing, and that Rigg kid, 17 years old.
You know it's a good performance when, because I watch our game start to finish. You know it's a good performance when I think generally 4-0 flattered Sheffield Wednesday. It easily could have been 5 or 6, like unreal.
I'm quite interested to see Sheffield Wednesday as well, though, because they obviously had that really good win, but it was only against Plymouth, was it? Was it Plymouth?
It was Plymouth, yeah.
And then obviously they've came up against Sunderland now, and obviously Sunderland pretty much, walked them off the park and played brilliant. So I'm very interested to see Sheffield Wednesday because I feel like Danny Rawls a very good manager, what I did last season, but I can't really grasp them at the minute because obviously I had that good win against a team who's struggling, and then they've done that against Sunderland. So I'm very interested to see what they'll bring to the Championship this season.
It's difficult. It's difficult because we can't judge it on anything other than the back end of last season and whatnot. Don't get me wrong; they were fantastic in the back end of last season, but the contrast in those two performances, because maybe it just shows how good Sunderland are. Maybe maybe that is just it. They don't have what's his bloody name? Good old Mick Beale at the wheel. So,
don't
Mick
get annoyed now.
Mick Beale at the wheel who can't drive. So they've actually have a competent manager.
It's Regis time. Sheffield Wednesday's their fans must be like 4-0 win on the opening day and then 4-0 loss on the second day. I mean, that is the peaks and troughs of the season in 2 weeks, isn't it?
Actually, how do we scored 4 goals, yet our goal difference is 0. I can zoom in.
But Sheffield Wednesday were bad, but we made them look bad. We were class, to be honest. I did wave, but we do have Russ in here. Hi, Russ. Hope you're okay. Johnny has put we play Leeds tomorrow, and also mentioned only downside is Jack Clark might be off. Bloody Ipswich. Ipswich seem to be signing everyone right now. Kieran McKenna is signing everyone.
Everyone that's good in the Championship is on the way to Ipswich.
Husky Mad has put up the mighty Reds, Bristol City.
I like Scott fine, so Bristol City are fine.
You're a poet and you didn't even know it.
There we are.
One of your many talents, Kieran.
Alongside criticising football teams. I'm good at that
pretty much. Well. You've been happy tonight, though, so I'll give you that one.
Fantastic.
Graham has put, I've been watching football for what feels like 134 years, and I've never seen someone be offside from a corner as there was in a Sunderland game, so that was a first for me. 134 years, you're looking well for your age, Graham.
Quite impressive to live that long as well. Credit where credit's due.
Not just that, but we had we had a scenario on Saturday where I think we got an offside call against us from a direct throw, and I thought, hang on, I swear you can't be offside from a direct throw.
You literally can't be offside from a throw.
I flagged straight away. I thought, hang on, what? I was like, that can't be right. I didn't see anything. So I don't know. That was a new one to me.
I had to get out the rule book once more, just to have a little look.
They've changed all the rules this year. I swear. It's like it's not an easy game anymore. The handball rules obviously changed so much now. I'm like, I don't know what I'm coming or going with it anymore.
My uncle has just texted me. I can talk about him, don't get me wrong, on the podcast now, but Louis Molden has gone to Crystal Palace.
Has he?
Yeah. He's used us. He's trained with us all this season. And he's got to move to a little club like Crystal Palace. What a move for him, but well deserved as well, because you all know.
You'll be learning off the best striker in the Prem, Jean-Philippe Mateta. It's fine.
Tell you what, though, it's a good job that I'm not live on air because my eyes are filled up because I'm actually gutted. I had a little bit of hope that we might have signed him.
Get that loan deal in, Shah. Get the
loan deal.
That's a good point.
Because Dean Henderson's not going to be replaced for Palace, so
better not be. He's in my dream team. I'm going to put Louis Molden in my dream team now. I'm joking. Yeah. He gets assists.
He's a free kick taker.
He got 5 last season for us.
Yeah, because they've got Dean Henderson.
Get him on penalties.
They've also got Sam Johnston there as well.
They have.
And Remy Matthews, so someone's going out on loan.
If anyone from Crystal Palace
Dean
sees
Henderson.
This, please let us have him on loan for one more season. I beg.
Dean Henderson to Rochdale on loan.
No, I'd rather have Louis Molden. But yes, the championship table. So Burnley are top of the championship at the minute. So at the minute, it looks like Dan might be getting his move back to the Premier League pod right now anyway. And Ant's going with him. We're losing Ant at the minute.
We're losing bloody everyone, man.
Stealing everybody. This is it. Everyone in the lower league pod, get up to the top of that league. We're stealing you.
Bloody hell, 2 years' time, Ruddy Clay's going to be there with Stockport as well. They'll be championship now next season. Prem the season after. Taking piss.
And we'll go down to the Ryman League and we won't be anywhere near it. We won't come in the Ryman League.
Come on, Ben. We'll see you in 2040. We'll save you a seat.
Mine will be Aki and Everton will swap, won't they?
Yeah.
I just come on a Premier League pod because I'm never going to get to the Premier League, so I just like appear anyway.
Shah's got the keys to the city. She just comes on whenever.
Whatever
pod she likes.
So top of the championship, we do have Burnley, and they have 6 points. Sunderland also on 6 points in second. We have Watford in third, also on 6 points. Blackburn Rovers are fourth on 4 points. West Brom are fifth, also on 4 points, and Bristol City are sixth with that last playoff spot at the minute, also on 4 points. And then in the relegation zone, we have 22nd and Millwall on 0 points. Preston North End, really struggling, aren't you, Preston? Obviously did sack Ryan Lowe after their first game. They have 0 points. Didn't they bring in...
They've got Heckingbottom, haven't they?
Heckingbottom, yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Hecking won from bottom at the minute, though. So
yeah. And Cardiff are bottom of the championship on 0 points.
Get in.
So that is all the football. Johnny has put, we should be on 4 points, but mismanagement cost us to start on -2. Doing well, though, Johnny. Doing well. Husky Mad has put Bristol City are going up this season, I reckon. Clip
I
it.
just reckon Cardiff are going. I reckon Cardiff are going down because they're shite.
Be trouble. They've got they've got Swansea this weekend away as well, haven't they? So.
I hope Swansea batter them 8-0. Don't like Cardiff. Never have, never will.
But yeah, that is the end of the football talk. We've done it in quite good timing as well. I'm proud of us. Very good timing.
Me on the show? That's bizarre.
We're doing well. Even, yeah, you've done well, Kieran. I'm proud. I'm very proud. But I just wanted to say as well, thank you, Sam, for coming on. It's been an absolute welcome back time. Sam, the EFL man, where can everybody find you?
It's been a pleasure. I've loved joining you guys on a Thursday. So yeah, you can find me on @SamAbsoluteFBL, or I'm doing some EFL content. Hence why I'm here this year, trying to get and learn all about EFL at the same time. So I'm doing TikTok @SamEFL and also YouTube channel as well. I might mix that up after holiday because the content's taking me a bit longer than I thought. So, but @SamAbsoluteFBL on Twitter, and usually I'm on a Monday show talking about Premier League. So. But now and again, I'll come back. I'll see if I can make this maybe a monthly appearance. See all you lovely lot.
I think you should now. You've said it, so we'll clip it, and you have to come on now, at least once a month.
Once a month, official.
Oh, we'll make you feel bad. Rebecca, where can everybody find you? Do your little point as you always nail every time. Smashed it again.
You can find me here, _Rebecca _short_. That's on Twitter and TikTok. You can find my Her Game 2 content at ASFC Her Game 2. And then if anyone wants to come and join the madness of Formula One, then I am part of Girls in the Grandstand, and we do a podcast and different bits of content.
Of course, everyone does. And that's with Jen as well.
Yes,
we have missed tonight. We love Jen, so please go and check all of them out. Ben, where can everybody find you?
Oh no, I failed that completely. There we go. I need some text from you, Rebecca, honestly. One on Twitter. If anyone wants to, obviously, my involvement with Mates United. If anyone wants to keep up to date with anything we've got going on the match days and the content I create, then Instagram Mates United. I tend to put a few things together on that in the match days. So if anyone wants to catch up with the content, then that's the place to find me.
Kieran, I'm Mr. Positivity.
Mr. Positivity. It's because I've changed my Twitter app. It's now Kieran NCAFC. I've changed it. New at, new me.
It took me 5 minutes to find you. I was trying to tag you in the tweet. I was like, where the bloody hell's Kieran gone? I was looking everywhere.
Really should have changed. Yeah, probably should have informed people on that. I don't even know why I did. I was bored. But anyway. Other than that, you can find me doing things with Newport City. We're playing tomorrow against Goitra, if I'm not mistaken, and I may be on interviews, camera work, all that fun stuff, all the fun realities of media. So Newport City _FC as well, if you wanna go check that out as well.
And not outside anyone's nan's house.
Not outside anyone's nan's house. No.
Have you overcome that now?
When Ben did his pointing the first time, he pointed my direction. I was going to say that he's not here with me. I just got to clarify. I just got to clarify, right, that I'm not outside no one's nan's house, and Ben is not in my house either.
Just to clarify. That cuddle later.
And if anybody wants to find me, I am SharXRAFC. That is on Twitter, it's on Instagram, and it's on TikTok. My Her Game 2 stuff is Rochdale HGT. And the most important bit, all our faces, and hopefully soon Ben will be on there too. We just need to persuade Josh to persuade his wife to get drawing, because she's the one who does it, doesn't she, Sam?
But that should have been his 10-year anniversary present. Surely a picture of Ben in cartoon graphic.
Exactly. What a present.
Yeah, framed.
One of my beautiful smile.
Exactly. Even I think we all should have one of them, to be fair.
Yeah.
All should have one.
Podcast merch, guys. There's Ben's face on a t-shirt.
He'll even sign it for you.
Loads.
He'll sign them all for you in his spare time. But we are the Absolute Football Podcast, and on Twitter we are Absolute Ball Pod. On YouTube and Twitch we are Absolute Football Podcast. Please subscribe as well if you don't, because we are so close to 1,000 subscribers. I mean, so close. So honestly, it'd be so good if you did. And as Josh says, every time you subscribe, a little angel gets its wings. How cute. So it's got to make you subscribe, please. TikTok, we are Absolute Football Pod. On Instagram and Threads, we are Absolute Football Podcast _. On Facebook, we have an Absolute Football Podcast. On Monday is our Premier League and European show. Wednesdays is our Women's Championship and WSL show. I don't know why I said Women's Championship first, but yeah. But at the minute, they're covering a bit of everything, aren't they, Sam?
They did Olympics, but it's not far. The season's only a couple of weeks away. So I think this next week is just a gym, and then they'll probably be on their Women's Championship preview. So it's not far away. Their season's coming.
But please check out Team Chaos, as they call themselves as well, because it is chaos. And then obviously, as Josh and Sam say, it is the Rowdy Rabble on a Thursday with our Absolutely Lower League show. So we cover the EFL Championship, League 1, League 2, the Vanarama National League and the Vanarama National League North and South. All of our shows do start at 8:30. So please, please, please do check them out and subscribe if you haven't already. Everybody in the chat as well, thank you so much. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure, and hope everyone's teams win. And make sure you are here next Thursday, because it might be interesting between Rebecca and Kieran. Could be very interesting.
Go on, Aki.
Take care, everyone, and hope you all have a lovely weekend.